It's been nearly a year since an arrest was made against the former commander of American Legion Post 477 here in Pittston for allegedly stealing money.
When you're driving and you see one of these big plow trucks coming around you. Now you'll notice there's a large plow up front and then there's also two side plows. They're called the wings. Make sure you practice extra caution there and don't try to speed around the actual plow truck.
Both the families feel that the system has failed them and their loved ones. But the bigger question there is, what is Luzerne County doing to help mental health patients? The Eagle Hose Company No. 2 here in Berwick is currently suspended after being told their officers lacked credentials.
Right, we're still here in downtown Colpmont. We're actually on Route 61 or Chestnut Street here. This is between 9th and 10th Streets as well too. Again, you can still see there's an active police presence. When we talked to state police earlier, they said there is an active gunman, but what we are learning right now is that state police has not made entry into any buildings or houses at this moment. Now the DEP also says that anyone who has a home heating oil tank, to make sure that you get it inspected regularly so that they could check for any types of cracks or any leaks that may be there as well. We're now learning that the borough has been under an FBI investigation for over a year now.
State police is urging anyone with any information, even the smallest details about Diamond's life, her disappearance, or even her death, to come forward and contact them or PA Crime Stoppers.
Representative Probst did say that there's still a lot of research that needs to be done, which leads to more unanswered questions.
The council did say that they're doing what they can right now to fully rebuild that staff of 4 full-time officers plus the chief. As you drive through, you can feel the magic of Christmas, and what makes it extra special is, like you said, how they give back to the community. We have to, without a doubt, make a snow angel real quick, and as I do this, I'm going to throw to Chief Meteorologist Mike Susko!
Fans of all ages are so excited to see how Team USA will do in the World Cup.
We, of course, want to thank all first responders across our entire region for all the hard work that they do and the support that they provide for our community. There's still plenty of fun to have here at the fair. Oh, look, we're taking off right now. Make sure you come on out. It is going until this Saturday, but we'll be here live again tomorrow night.
Now, the classes are set to begin in August. The college tells me that they have 6 students already enrolled, with another 3 to 4 going through the application process, which means that by the time they open in August, they'll actually have the opportunity to have a full program.
Fox 56's Jake Sarwar. He is joining us live in the Poconos with more on local residents' reaction to the suspect being arrested nearby. Jake.
Aaron, good evening. That's right. There's a feeling of shock in this small community here in the Poconos.
In conjunction with the Pennsylvania State Police, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, detectives arrested 28-year-old Brian Christopher Kohlberger in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, on a warrant for murders of Ethan, Zana, Madison, and Kaylee.
The 100 block of Lambston Drive in Albrightsville soon became crowded when 28-year-old Brian Kohlberger was taken into custody this morning. According to Pennsylvania State Police, Kohlberger was arrested on a fugitive from justice warrant and is currently being held without bail in the Monroe County Correctional Facility. Throughout the day, I spent some time researching his connection with northeastern Pennsylvania. Kohlberger grew up in the Poconos near the Indian Mountain Lake community. He graduated from Pleasant Valley High School and worked as a security officer in the school district from 2016 until 2021. He eventually graduated from DeSales University, outside of the Allentown area, with a master's degree in criminal justice before heading to Washington State University to pursue a doctorate in criminal justice. Residents of the Indian Mountain Lake community, many coming in for the holiday weekend, were in shock to hear of what happened.
I mean, who was ever going to know that this was going to happen? This was so outlandish. And again, who thought that they'd find somebody this far away from where the murders happened? I just hope that, this is a little bit of closure for their families, because that's really sad to lose your child.
A first-degree murder in Idaho will remain sealed until he is returned. There's an extradition hearing that will be happening later next week. Reporting live in the Poconos, I'm Jake Sarwar, Fox 56 News, First at 10.
In this special report, Jake Sarwar dives into the purpose of PFAs and what happens if they are violated.
Regardless of the scenario, nobody deserves to be assaulted.
Domestic violence happens behind closed doors every day. Some victims have to get a court order to keep abusers away. After being physically abused by a former partner, Sparrow Decker thought that she was in the clear when ending the relationship, but that wasn't the case.
He lured me outside and ran me over with his truck. I thought I was going to die, obviously. It was a full-size dually truck that he ran me over with.
Decker was left partially paralyzed and wondered how to protect herself. That's when she was encouraged to file a protection from abuse order, which was granted at the beginning of November.
I wanted the full 3-year PFA along with the weapons order. It was a big win for me.
Sparrow bravely shares her story, but in some cases, abuse is not talked about. According to PA courts, more than 40,000 new PFAs were filed in the Commonwealth in 2022, a 5% increase from the previous year. Luzerne County District Attorney Samuel Sanguadolce says that PFAs are Pennsylvania's version of a restraining order.
The PFA filing essentially under a circumstance where someone that you live in the same house or have a sexual relationship or had a sexual relationship has an incident of abuse.
Another survivor who wishes to remain anonymous describes the abuse that led her to file.
My former partner physically abused me in one instance to the point where I was not able to work or carry out day-to-day activities.
The process of getting a PFA can vary depending on the case.
They will notify the on-duty magistrate and they'll set up a hearing because to put that kind of restriction on someone, he's entitled to at least some kind of hearing before a court.
If a full protection from abuse is granted, law enforcement will be required to serve the order on the defendant and give a set of rules like a no-contact order, surrendering of firearms, and leaving the home where the victim lives. Now, once served, violating a PFA warrants repercussions like incarceration and even fines up to $1 million.
Police will generally come and arrest them. There'll be a whole hearing about whether or not this is a violation and then a potential criminal penalty for the violation.
Decker explains that it makes her feel safe knowing that there are repercussions, but is also realistic about what could happen.
It is just a piece of paper, and if somebody is willing to take your life away, they don't exactly care about the consequences.
The PFA process takes courage from domestic violence survivors. In Wilkes-Barre, the Domestic Violence Service Center's mission is to provide support.
We have a 24-hour hotline, crisis intervention, referral and support, of course. We do have emergency shelter, transitional housing, legal assistance. We do educational outreach, counseling, and other services.
The PFA office, located inside the Luzerne County Courthouse, is required to provide victims and survivors resources such as the Domestic Violence Center. Since July of 2023, the center has been able to provide over 347 PFA-related services. Marcia Piga serves as the executive director and explains why some may be hesitant to file.
They might think that no one would believe them, or that they might need a certain document like a police report or a hospital report, but also they could be fearful of retaliation, or it could escalate the abuse.
No matter the outcome of the hearing, the center will provide resources and prepare filers for different decisions.
It's so important for them to provide the other options and safety planning because it can be denied.
The anonymous survivor shared with us that she feels as if a weight has been lifted since her PFA was granted.
I feel lighter. I feel much more connected to my family than I have in a really long time.
But the staggering statistics do lead to some more questions.
Do we have more of this type of crime, or are we getting better at finding it? Are more people becoming aware that this is a possibility to protect themselves, and therefore we see this increase?
Victims of abuse have a greater chance of being at risk when leaving an abuser. Experts stress the importance of having an exit and emergency plan in place. In Wilkes-Barre, I'm Jake Sarwar, Fox 56 News, First at 10.
This month, Jake learns what really goes on in the life of a zookeeper.
Claws and Paws is celebrating their 50th anniversary this year, so what I wanted to do for Jake of all trades was come on out and learn what it takes to be a zookeeper. Come on along with me. Did you know that there are nearly 400 zoos throughout the United States, even with one in our own viewing area? As you travel around Lake Ariel, you'll stumble upon Claws and Paws. What started as a petting zoo has now evolved into a full-fledged zoo, with lions, tigers, and bears, just to name a few. When I arrived at the zoo, I was greeted by Pamela Voglino, the head zookeeper. Now, Pam has been with the zoo for nearly 30 years.
Most of our animals actually have come from other zoos, born in other zoos, and occasionally we have some breeding, depending on what kind of an animal it is.
Pam put me right to work, making enrichment for the giraffe and paddis monkeys. Enrichment helps the different animals physically and mentally.
Jethro is going to use his very long tongue, reach around, grab the treats, pull them out.
Okay.
So you can just put like random, some peppers in. All of this is just going to go in these holes.
Throughout my day at the zoo, there were certain animals I was not able to approach due to them not being acclimated with me. The Pattis monkeys were one.
He's a little tired.
That's his way of warning you.
Oh.
Yeah, the yawning.
Like means business.
Yes, the yawning is sort of a threat to you.
Okay.
Pam hung the enrichment on their cage, and it was neat to see the monkeys interact with what we had made. After hanging with the primates, I made my way over to the reptiles, where I met Natalie Amato, the head reptile zookeeper. Natalie wanted to take me along to show me how to clean an alligator pool. Remember when I said there were certain animals I wouldn't meet? That was not the case here, and I was able to meet Mr. Big.
Natalie, I gotta tell you, I don't want to be eaten today.
You will be totally fine, no worries.
I can just touch it? All right, dude, cool. Calm down.
Once Mr. Big and I agreed that we wouldn't bother each other, Natalie put me right to work cleaning out the pool.
No, we're not messing around.
Hey,
you want to experience it, we're
put
doing
me
it.
to work?
As we continued on, I was looking forward to getting to see the lions. But before that, I had a nerve-wracking meet and greet with a python named Salazar.
All right, we did it. We committed to the bit. They're tasting the air, or is she tasting my armpit? What is she doing? Okay, all right, sounds good. All righty.
We then moved on to the king of the jungle, the lion. It was too much of a safety risk to go in, so I settled for cleaning the windows outside.
Hello. Oh, there he is. He's having fun.
My next task would be to feed and clean up after Jethro, a young giraffe at the zoo.
You're gonna have fun. We made a good little enrichment for you. You're gonna have a good time today. So you said you do part-time work in the summer?
Now, I couldn't meet every animal, but was still able to stop and see a tiger, bear, panthers, and even a pair of wolves. Before leaving, I had one last task, getting to interact with parrots. Now, it wouldn't have been a successful day without some good luck.
Oh, gosh. Did it just... Oh, crap.
Literally.
It just on me. It was so awesome to get to be here at Claws and Paws, including getting to meet my friend Jethro. Guess what? We're birthday buddies. If you have any ideas of where I should take my next job adventure, let me know on social media. Reporting for Jake of All Trades, I'm Jake Sarwar.